I'm Mrs. M. Shukla here. I'm your chemistry teacher. Dear children, I know you all have not purchased your books yet. So, to begin with, I will take up a very easy chapter with you all, that is matter and its composition. This is one chapter you must have read in your previous class also. So, it's very simple and therefore I have picked it up. Now, what you all have to do? So, in your rough notebook, you can make your notes because this is one of the chapter which will be included for your test. So, you can copy it down in any of your rough notebook, or if you have prepared a chemistry notebook separately, then you can do all that over there. So, let us begin today with our first chapter, that is matter and its composition. Now, you already know that our universe is made up of matter. We all are surrounded by matter. We ourselves are matter. The air we breathe in, the water we drink, the clothes we wear, the food we eat, and the land over which we all are living. This is all matter. So, what is matter? How can you define what is matter? We can define matter. How can we define matter? Matter can be defined as anything that occupies space. Very good. What else? Yes, has mass, and it can be perceived by the senses. It can be perceived by our senses. Clear? So this all everybody knows. Example could be like your book, right? The pen that I am using, the table that I am using. All this is what? This is all matter. Now, let's come to states of matter. What do we understand by states of matter? We know that matter exists in all the three states. Correct. What is that? It exists as solid, as liquid, and also as gases. Is that clear to all of you? Now, look at these two, solids and liquid and gases. They are also termed as fluids. What are fluids? What do you know? What are fluids? Fluids are those liquids, or you may say those substances which can be poured from one vessel to another. They are termed as fluids. All these states, solid, liquid and gases, they are all interconvertible, but it needs a special condition for that. Each state can be recognized by its special characteristics. The physical states of matter, they can be interchanged by what method? By either heating. I can change from solid to liquid to gas, or even by cooling. I can change this state from gas to liquid to solid. So these are the two different ways how we can show interconversion of these states of matter. But we will deal with this interconversion a little later. First, we are going to talk in detail about the three states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. Right? So, what do you mean by solid? Let me rub this. Okay. So, what is solid? How can you define what is solid? Solid, it can be defined as that state of matter which has, yes, definite shape. It has a definite shape, size, volume. Okay, and also mass. So, solid, it is defined as that state of matter which has a definite shape, definite size, volume and mass. Then what is liquid? Liquid, how can we define this? This is that state of matter which has definite mass and volume. It has definite mass and volume, but no definite shape or size. It takes the shape of the container. It takes the shape of the container in which it is kept. Is this clear to all of you? Then next we come to gases. What are gases? This can be defined as that form of matter which has neither definite shape nor volume, but it has a definite mass. So about gases we can write, they have neither definite shape nor volume, but they have a definite mass. They have a definite mass. I hope till here it is very clear. Now let us talk about kinetic energy. Kinetic theory of matter. Okay, let us talk about kinetic theory of matter. So, the existence of matter in these three different states, it can be explained on the basis of kinetic theory of matter. The main postulates of kinetic theory of matter, what are they? They are made up of very small particles. What are those particles called as? What are these particles called as? Matter is made of very small particles, that is molecules, atoms or ions. Okay, that matter is made up of small particles. What are they? They are extremely small particles. There is no space, so you can just understand extremely small particles. What are they? Molecules, atoms or ions, right? These molecules are always in a state of constant, rapid, random motion in all the possible directions. So, they are in constant random motion. Clear? They are always in a random motion in all possible directions. In all possible directions. Is this clear? Then due to their motion and mass, the molecules, they possess what? They possess kinetic energy, right? Then there are attractive forces also between the molecules. There are attractive forces between the molecules. Fine. Then these attractive forces are of two types. What are they? One is cohesive force and other is yes, adhesive force, right? There are two types of forces. They are cohesive force and adhesive force. Cohesive forces, when do cohesive forces, what are cohesive forces? When the molecules of same kind, when we see the force of attraction between the molecules of the same type, when the attractive forces are between same type of molecules, then it is cohesive forces. When attractive forces between different type of molecules, then they are termed as adhesive forces. Is this clear till here? Okay. Next point. We are talking about kinetic theory just now. So I just rub off this point. Next point could be that kinetic energy is directly proportional to temperature. That is, when you increase the temperature, when we heat the molecules, they gain energy, right? And when you cool the temperature, means temperature comes down, the kinetic energy becomes less. The molecules, they come closer when the kinetic energy becomes less. Is this clear? And then lastly, over here, the last postulate of kinetic theory of matter, that as the distance between the molecule increases, the magnitude of attractive forces between the molecules, it always decreases. What did I say? That as the distance between the molecules increases, right? The magnitude of attractive forces between the molecules decreases. I hope this is very clear to all of you. What did we study? What are solid, liquid and gases? And we also studied that about this matter, the kinetic theory of matter. Now we are going to talk about the characteristics of different states, all the three states, right? So in detail, we are going to talk about them in detail today. Okay? So let us begin with the first kind. The difference between the three different states. Which is the first one we should start with? Let us start with the characteristics. Characteristics of solids. We are going to begin with the characteristics of solids. Okay, or solid state, I should say over here. Should begin with the characteristic of a solid state. So what did we study? The first point about solids, they have definite mass, definite volume and definite shape. Clear? Then these particles in solid, they are very closely packed. Look at the figure there. Particles are closely packed, right? So if they are closely packed, then what do we know about empty spaces? What do you know about empty spaces? Negligible. Therefore, empty space is negligible. I hope my spelling, I think my spelling has gone wrong. 1 minute. Negligible. Clear? Is this point very clear to all of you? Then, what else do we know? Solids, they are hard and rigid. They are hard and rigid. Okay? The next point. They do not undergo any change in the shape itself. Like for example, this is a table. Can we change the shape of this table? No, it is not possible, right? So it does not undergo any change in its shape so easily till I do not break it, right? There are large attractive forces between the molecules in a solid. There are large attractive forces between the particles. Clear? More point. What else do we know? They have high densities. They have high densities. Why do they have high densities? Because they are rigid. Therefore, they have high densities. Next point. They do not show the property of diffusion. No diffusion. Now, you must be wondering, what is this diffusion? What do we mean by this word diffusion? It is when diffusion means when molecules intermingle into one another. That is called as diffusion, which solids do not do. Suppose I bring two tables and I want to make it one. Is it possible? Will the two tables come and diffuse into one another? It is next to impossible. So solids, they do not show diffusion at all. And lastly, there are number of free surfaces. So with this, we finish off with the characteristics of the solid state. Let us now start with the characteristics of liquid state. Of the liquid state. Okay. What have we studied about liquid state? Now, liquid has a definite mass and volume but does not have a definite shape. Clear? So, the first point will be that it has definite mass and volume but no definite shape. Clear? Second point about it, these liquids, they can take the shape of the container. Take the shape of the container in which they are kept, right? They have only one free surface. They have only one free surface. Okay? They flow from top to bottom. Liquids, they never flow from bottom to top. They flow from top to bottom. Flow, because they are fluids, they flow from top to bottom. Clear? Then what else do we know about liquids? The vacant spaces between the molecules in this liquid, there are more as compared to solids, right? The intermolecular space, what we call intermolecular space or intermolecular gap, right, is more than solids. Followed? Next, what about forces of attraction? If intermolecular gap is more, then force of attraction will be lesser than solids. Therefore, forces of attraction are lesser than solids. Clear? Then the liquids, they have lower densities if they are compared with solids. Lower density as compared to solids. Solids have maximum density. Then next is your liquid, which has lesser density than solids. On heating a liquid, its molecules, they move apart and the liquids, they expand on heating. So we can write liquids expand on heating. They expand on heating. Clear? and they to some extent they show property of diffusion. Show the property of diffusion. Can you give me some example of here over here? Like you must have seen the summers are coming. So your orange squash, when you add it to water, they intermingle into one another, right? This is one example of diffusion. Or maybe if you take your blue ink and drop 2 drops of blue ink in your water, what will happen? The molecules, they intermingle. Now where do they intermingle? They intermingle into the molecular gap. Is that clear? And hence they show diffusion. Diffusion takes place over here only because intermolecular spaces are present over here. I hope this is clear. Characteristics of liquid state is clear to all of you. We next move to the characteristics of gaseous state. Of the gaseous state. Of gaseous state. Let's talk about gaseous state now. A gas, what do we know about it? It has definite mass, but neither definite shape nor definite volume. So first point about it, has definite mass, but neither definite shape nor definite volume. Correct. This point is clear. Then what else do we know about the intermolecular space? Maximum. Correct. Maximum intermolecular space. Okay. If it has maximum intermolecular space, what do we know about forces of attraction? Force of attraction is least. Action is least, or in other words we can say negligible. Then these gases have no free surface. They have no free surface. Can you touch the gas? Can you touch the air? No. It has no free surface. Then it definitely shows the property of diffusion. Shows diffusion. Best example is your air. Correct. Best example is your air. Right? Then they have lowest densities. Very low density. Right? As compared to solids or even the liquids. Then these gases, they have high kinetic energies. They have high kinetic energy. Why do they have high kinetic energy? Because there is maximum intermolecular space. And since the force of attraction is least, so they are moving about in a haphazard manner in all possible directions, right? And hence, when they are hit by the particles in different speed, they form high kinetic energy. Is this clear? Then there is no effect of gravity on the motion of the molecules of these gases. These gases, they even exert pressure in all the directions on the walls of the container, as I told you just now. So you may mention this also. Exert pressure in all possible direction on the walls of the container. Okay. And lastly, they are highly compressible. They are highly compressible. Right? Best example. Can you give me highly compressible? The gases, they are filled in the balloons, highly compressible. These gases, they are filled in the tires, highly compressible. In the cylinder, highly compressible. Clear? So these were certain characteristics of gas, solid, liquid and gases. Now as I told you in the beginning, they are interconvertible, right? They are interconvertible. So let us understand what is the interconvertible conversion of the states of matter. Look at this picture that I have made for you. Solids, when they are heated, they attain kinetic energy, means the molecules, they start moving, as I told you in the beginning, that these molecules are always in constant motion. So when they are heated, they gain energy, and when they gain energy, they start melting and convert into liquid state. Clear? So every solid has its own temperature to melt. Okay, that temperature at which a particular solid melt, it is called as its melting point. The solid at particular temperature, when it melts, that particular temperature is called as its melting point. Clear? And this solid on melting converts into liquid state. Right? Now, liquid when heated again gains more kinetic energy and it will start evaporating and evaporate and change into gaseous state. Clear? Now let us take one example also. Solid melted to liquid. Correct. Ice. Ice, when you heat, it melts and changes into liquid state. Liquid evaporates and comes back in the form of gas. How? Water, when you start boiling it, it evaporates and forms the gas. Okay. Liquid water, when you are heating it, it is also called as boiling. So every liquid has its own boiling point. Clear? So what is boiling point? The particular temperature at which the liquid state changes into gaseous state is called as its boiling point. Fine. Evaporation takes place at all the temperature. So evaporation also is the liquid is converted into gaseous state. You can understand the difference between boiling and evaporation, like mummy hangs the wet clothes in the sun, and after an hour or two that particular cloth dries up. So what happened? The water got evaporated and the substances dried. And what is boiling? You go to the kitchen, keep the water in a vessel on the gas and start heating it, supplying fuel to it. Okay, that is boiling. So at particular temperature, only that liquid is going to boil. So that particular temperature at which it boils, the liquid boils, is called as its boiling point. Next, gas, when we start cooling it. Okay, now just now I was talking about heat. Now I'm going to cool. Gases, molecules, they are moving apart in all different directions, and I start cooling. So they cool down and they start coming closer. So when they start coming closer, what do they form? They form liquid. So this process, that is change of state from gas to liquid, is called as condensation. Can you give me one example? Correct. Rainfall. So what are your clouds? They are big gaseous clouds. So when they cool, they come down in the form of water. What is that? Liquid, rain. This process is termed as condensation. Clear? Then this liquid, cool it further, temperature goes down further. What happens? The molecules still come closer and they come so close, tightly packed, solidify and change into solid state. This process is termed as solidification. In other words, we can also say freezing. So particular temperature at which the liquid freezes into solid state is termed as its freezing point. All these conversions are clear. Temperature increases and then temperature decreases on cooling. Another state, solid without heating, without anything. It neither enters, it directly goes into the gaseous state without entering the liquid state. So when solid state without entering the liquid state changes into gaseous state, they are called as, the process is termed as sublimation. And the substance, that solid substance, is called as a subliming substance. Subliming substance could be like your dry ice. Dry ice is your subliming substance. Naphthalene balls. You must have seen mummy during the summer season. Those white balls she keeps in the woolen clothes. They are the naphthalene balls. Next winter when you take out your woolens, you find those big balls have become so small and they do not leave any spot on the cloth also. Therefore, they are termed as, this process is termed as sublimation, and naphthalene ball is your subliming substance. Is this clear? Okay, more examples are there, like iodine is a subliming substance, ammonium chloride is a subliming substance. So these are all subliming substances, or they are sublimate. Okay, next, so gases sometimes, and yes, one thing more, this dry ice, it is also used in the theaters. Where is it used? It is used in the theaters to give a cloudy effect, like the actors, they do the acting and they want to show a cloudy effect, right? So without that solid changing into gaseous state, without entering into the liquid state, they show the cloudy effect. This way the stage is also not dirty and they give the cloud effect. Okay. Now, when the gases directly convert into solid state, then it is called as deposition. I hope this interconversion of state of matter is clear to all of you. So we stop till here and I'll come back to you in your next chemistry period to give you some work and teach you further. Thank you.